Hello, everyone. I'm NANGCHUKJA. My Tibetan name is NANGCHUKJA, and Robert is my English name, given by one of my English teachers in the college. So today here, first I would like to introduce some part of my background, and then let's look at one of my projects at the moment. So I'm from Qinghai in the West China, and from Qinghai I'm from the east central part, and in a mountainous Tibetan region, pretty remote and far from the urban areas. So about myself, I was born and raised in a Tibetan grassland in a herdsman area. And I'm 23 now, and I was a herdsman until I was 10. Then after 10, I got a really good chance, and then I was able to go to school in a farming village. And since then, everything pretty much changed because of education life that I got out of the herding life. And the local condition and the local condition that I was in that time was really cannot imagine and miserable. For example, that people were really traditional, still traditional, many part, and sending children to the school is really almost impossible. But no, it's pretty much changed, but still really traditional. Parents send their children to primary school, but after graduation they would keep them at home and then probably get them married and let them do family chores such as herding, farming, and things like that. And I was one of them too. I was kept at home until 10, and then suddenly I got a chance to go to school, which really changed my life, and without becoming a student at the first hand, I could not be on this platform today. And after my graduation from primary school, I was again continued and luckily went to junior middle school and senior high school. But college fee was really, really expensive in terms of household in a farming village or in a herding area in the east central part of Qinghai where I'm from. But my parents, at that time, when I passed the entrance examination to Qinghai Normal University in 2006, my parents said, well, so no, we cannot send you to school anymore. We have been working so hard and let you go to school in the past few years, but now it's almost impossible looking at the budget that you're going to have. But then, luckily, I got a sponsor. I got a donor. So I got a donor and who paid all of my college fee, which really changed all of my life. And then I went to Qinghai Normal University and I studied English. So English changed my life pretty much from the life that I used to be a herdsman. I was herding until 10 in a mountainous region through years and years, and following all my parents and uncles and things like that. So, but after the year that I went to school, I could do some projects, and I saw some opportunities. I got to see an opportunity or got to see a window through which I could see the outside world. Then the opportunity was that there was a grant program from a private foundation. They saying that they could do a library project, and they're looking for communities which are pretty much in need. So, well, my community has a primary school which I were going the first time. So there's no library, no single book in a library, or there's no library. Library is pretty much a new term at that time. So I just came up with a short project proposal and sent to the private foundation through one of my English teachers. And after 3 or 4 months, it was founded, and which was really exciting. And then later, anyway, I got the funding, and then with local teachers, we did the project. We did the library project, and this picture is used to be one of the classroom I was in, and this was taken in 2008, but still look like this. So the local conditions, like on each table, like 3 to 4 people, sometimes 5, and sometimes children really fight each other because of the table really small in front of them. So looking at some of the pictures of the local condition, see the water is another problem too. So water, people take their donkeys and also the water container and to the Yellow River. Yellow River is pretty much closer to the community where I'm from. So people go down to the Yellow River bank and get water, fetch water, and then come back like really far. It takes about half day, sometimes 1 day. So people do this every other day in their lifetime. And local women fetch water, which is culturally is an assignment for local women. Men probably don't do this, but today many do, but not really many. So anyway, local women every day they carry and fetch water and like plastic container like this every day. That's women's life. That's the reason why also there are many children, especially girls, in the school, because it's like kind of culturally assignment for the girls to learn this, and then later they work on this. And they also fetch water by cart, which is pulled by donkeys, and it's a local girl in a herding area. She's herding the goats. And environmental destruction is also one of the problems, one of the biggest problems at the moment. Because water source is really far at some point in the grassland that locals drive their livestock to like 2 to 10 or 10 to 15 kilometers, sometimes a round trip each day, and for water. So consequently, the grass get degradation after the constant treating over the grassland. So the grassland degradation is becoming a really big problem, and also its health. This was taken earlier this year, and a mother of 6 children, and she was really disabled, and but 4 of her children, 4 girls, 3 girls, and the other are sons. So they're retarded and disabled from birth, and most of their children are like that, which normally does not happen, but this is a really tragedy because of health. No very poor awareness of local hygiene and sanitation. So later this kind of health problem happens. That's a pretty big problem. And this is another way of life in the East Central Qinghai part. Locals herd yaks in a snowy mountain. That's what they do every day in remote areas. And the local income generation is pretty low. It's like 363.4 RMB per person per year. This statistics was done in 2008 in July. But locals get this only from farming and herding. And in terms of herding, they do have the resource of caterpillar fungus. They can sell caterpillar fungus every day, every year in May, but the income generation on average is that much. And another way is that locals are really hard to go outside and find work because of their culture and language, that they do not have very good Chinese, Mandarin, or local dialect skills. So it's really hard for them to go outside and find work. Okay, anyway, so all these problems are the problems where the problems exist, or life conditions that exist in my home area and where I'm from, and which exactly the same family where I'm from. So all the things that I can see and the new things that I learned from learning English, I got to create FCA. FCA is for Friendship Charity Association, which I established in 2008. But I have been working since 2005, right before when I started college. So because of that experience, a little experience, I could establish FCA. And FCA focused on 5 very, very big things, but we are primarily focused on education. And in terms of education, we provide library training programs for English, Chinese, Tibetan, and we provide scholarship and also teacher training, things like that. And in terms of rural development, and we do as many as we can and as many as we can receive from funding or any kind of donors. So we provide like solar panels, solar cookers, and water project. For example, we have been doing a water project in the past month. We have been doing 6 water projects to 6 communities. Each community have, on average, they have about 1,000 people, and more livestock, of course. So in terms of health, we set up clinic and equipment in the clinic, and also medicine supplies. And environmental protection, we have tree planting, and in the desert area, it's the central part have a very, very big desert area that is increasing every year. And we have local government programs that planting trees as well, but which still needed in large number. And cultural preservation is also another priority in our organization, since the local areas are pretty rich in culture. So, okay, so here's the last thing I'm going to talk about, the project that we have been working on recently. It's a Tibetan handicrafts project in the rural communities, and the reason that we are doing this is the Tibetan culture, I said, is pretty rich and diverse in the local area, but there's a problem. Now locals are giving up their herding and farming life. Why? Because these communities settled across the Yellow River, the banks of Yellow River, and overgrazing and environmental destruction is becoming a big problem. So resettlement is a new policy in the local area, and therefore people move to towns and the local county towns and prefecture towns. So therefore they give up their life in terms of herding and farming, and now they have to do something as much as local urban areas they do. So this is a picture of a resettlement, and this is a product that we have been producing, and the handicrafts that are made by local women and local people only. These are some handicrafts that are locally produced and locally marketed, and tents and etc. Okay, so this last thing is that this enterprise is for cultural preservation at first, and then the idea is that We preserve cultural preservation by producing and gathering local women and people together, make and all these handicrafts. And then we find the market locally, and another way we target the tourists in the High Tibetan Plateau. And we produce 2 different kind of items and then sell in all over across Tibet. That's the goal. But at the moment, we are only in one location in the east central part. And so that means 65% of the kind of revenue goes back to the community, which is the enterprise goal, to create small-scale development projects and benefit the local people. And 30% goes to the employment payment or operation cost to the enterprise, and 5% goes to the manager, the organization that manages this. So in that way, it keeps going over a long time. And I guess that's pretty much it. And I would like to receive some questions and elaborate on the things that I just mentioned about. Thank you.
We have our first question over here.
Okay. Well, thank you, Robert. It's a pleasure having you, and it's really impressive, the projects you talk about us, because we understand, I mean, if Robert's thing is in Hong Kong, it's not that big deal, right? But imagine this, in such a remote area in Qinghai, it's like middle nowhere in China. I believe Robert actually has brought the idea of social enterprise and this whole model into that local community, and that's a big, invention, I would say. So my question for you, Robert, is like, what inspired you doing what you do? And well, of course, the environment there is very different. You must have been facing a lot more difficulties compared to doing it elsewhere. So what supported you going through this journey? And if, say, like any of our youth here today wants to do something similar, bring something that's not there, the concept's not there, into their local community, what would your suggestions be? Thank you.
Thank you. So the thing that inspired me to do all of this is because of the life or hardship that I have experienced previously, and the environment that I grew up and the environment that I know pretty well, and being in Hong Kong gives me much different perspectives and different opportunities, and seeing all these young gentlemen really gives much hope and really information technology in hand, and there you go. So, but in Qinghai, it's impossible to have this information access, and the technology, new technology, is still a little bit far and pretty hard to get opportunities. But since I grew up in that and then came up making friends outside that place and seeing all people like this and speeches that are previously spoken, and hear those kind of new things make me really inspired and make me think that there's a hope to implement different things of different projects in these communities and make some changes rather than doing nothing, and local people pretty much impoverished, not like in terms of poverty, but in terms of thinking, in terms of everything almost. What they think is totally different here, what people are thinking here, doing, and things like that. So there's a really big gap from here in this room and a room full of thousand people in China, I would say. So these gaps make me really wonder and still keeps me carry on lots of curiosities. So all of these different things that come to my mind makes me really inspired and gives me hope. That's the reason why I'm still going on, and no matter what faces and what challenges me.
And if you want to give one suggestion to the audience today?
Suggestion? I would like to say that in terms of Qinghai, please come to Qinghai. And just to interact with the local people there. There's a lot of things that you can learn, and lot of things that you can imagine and what they do and what they think. So there's a lot of things that you can really change, or you can bring new technology or whatever that benefits or changes local people or makes local people's condition, life much better. I would say just come and visit and interact with them.